Good evening, Your Majesties. Good evening, Windsor. A huge thank you to everyone for making this such a special evening. I want to say a few words about my father and why I believe this weekend is so important. But don't worry, unlike Lionel, I won't go on all night long. As my grandmother said when she was crowned, coronations are a declaration of our hopes for the future. And I know she's up there, fondly keeping an eye on us, and she'll be a very proud mother. For all that celebrations are magnificent, at the heart of the pageantry is a simple message: service. My father's first words on entering Westminster Abbey yesterday were a pledge of service. It was a pledge to continue to serve, because for over 50 years, in every corner of the UK, across the Commonwealth and around the world, he has dedicated himself to serve others, both current and future generations, and those whose memory must not be neglected. Take the natural world. He warned us of the risks to our planet's health long before it was an everyday issue. Or the Prince's Trust. It has supported The Prince's Trust has supported over 1 million young people, many from disadvantaged backgrounds, to realise their ambitions. And perhaps most importantly of all, my father has always understood that people of all faiths, all backgrounds, and all communities deserve to be celebrated and supported. Pa, we are all so proud of you. And I also want to express my pride and gratitude for the millions of people who serve in the forces, in classrooms, hospital wards, and local communities. I wish I could mention you all. Your service inspires us, and tonight we celebrate you too. I commit myself to serve you all, King, country, and Commonwealth. God save the King.
The air inside the historic state apartments of Windsor Castle turned instantly to ice. It was a moment of sheer, unscripted fury, occurring not in the pages of a sensational memoir or during a televised interview, but behind closed doors during a celebration meant to honor Princess Anne. Prince William, usually the master of stoic composure, stood rigid with anger. His eyes locked onto Laura Lopes after a single, casually delivered remark shattered the evening's celebratory warmth. Here at Royal Scope, we pull back the heavy velvet curtains of the British monarchy to expose the raw, human fractures that define life behind palace walls. This hidden clash at Windsor Castle was not merely a brief lapse in etiquette, but the catalyst for a profound family division that remains unresolved to this day. The evening had begun as a tribute to Princess Anne, a royal who has long epitomized the relentless, unglamorous dedication to public service. Having recently completed her historic 20,000th engagement, the Princess Royal stood as a symbol of unwavering duty, supporting over 300 charities without ever courting the adulation of the press. For William, his aunt had always been the ultimate exemplar of how to carry the crown's heavy burden with dignity. Yet, the celebratory mood evaporated when Laura Lopes, Camilla's daughter, made a quiet but devastating observation to a small circle of guests. Standing near the edge of the reception, Laura, an art curator who usually avoids the spotlight, remarked that Anne's traditional, old-fashioned approach to royal duty was increasingly out of touch with modern Britain. She implied that younger royals like William and Catherine brought a much-needed freshness that made Anne's style feel entirely archaic. The insult, though delivered with a casual shrug, struck at the very foundation of Princess Anne's entire life. William, standing close enough to catch every word, felt an immediate surge of protective anger. To see his aunt, a woman who had defended the monarchy through its darkest decades, dismissed by someone who held no official title yet enjoyed every privilege of the family, was entirely unacceptable. Those close to the group watched in stunned silence as William took a deliberate step toward Laura. his posture tense and his jaw clenched in a display of rare, visible outrage. While the Princess Royal maintained her legendary composure, her only concession to the insult being a slight, momentary tightening of her lips, the sudden silence that enveloped the room spoke louder than any shouting match ever could. The next morning, William refused to let the matter rest, traveling to Gatcombe Park for a private, urgent conversation with his aunt in her personal sitting room. He expressed his profound frustration, arguing that Laura's comments represented a toxic disrespect that threatened to undermine the core values of the monarchy. Though Anne, pragmatic as ever, gently advised her nephew to let the matter pass rather than empower a careless remark, William remained deeply concerned that such whispers would inevitably infect the public narrative. The ripples of the confrontation quickly reached Queen Camilla, sparking an intense maternal protectiveness that complicated the palace dynamics further. Camilla had spent decades trying to shield Laura and Tom from the exhausting scrutiny of royal life, believing they deserved to live independent careers free from the demands of the crown. To Camilla, William's intense reaction was a severe overreaction that threatened to alienate her children from the family. King Charles found himself caught in an impossible emotional crossfire, torn between his deep love for his sister, his loyalty to his protective wife, and his duty to support his heir. This delicate domestic balance was tested further weeks later at a Clarence House charity gala, where the underlying tension erupted into a frosty, silent standoff as William and Catherine kept a pointed distance from Laura, leaving guests whispering in uneasy speculation. As we look deeper into how these private battles shaped the very survival of the British monarchy, take a moment to subscribe to Royal Scope, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments below on whether William was right to stand his ground. To resolve the simmering hostility, Charles eventually summoned the family to an exceptionally rare private meeting in a quiet drawing room at Buckingham Palace. Sitting in tense silence, William and Camilla, Laura, and Catherine confronted the growing divide. William spoke with absolute firmness, reiterating that respect for those who serve the crown is non-negotiable, while Laura defended her words as an innocent, casual observation that had been wildly blown out of proportion. The summit ended without any formal resolution or apologies, leaving a permanent, quiet chill to settle over the royal household. While the public continues to witness a united front of smiles and ceremonial perfection, the reality behind the scenes is one of fractured trust and rigid boundaries. The quiet defiance of Prince William's protective stance stands as a stark warning that some lines, once crossed, can never be restored. This clash exposes the profound ideological divide within the modern House of Windsor. Princess Anne represents an era of duty defined by silent sacrifice, a work ethic built on showing up, rain or shine, in remote town halls and muddy fields across the Commonwealth, without demanding a public relations strategy to validate her efforts. When Laura dismissed this legacy, she was not just insulting a person, she was dismissing the foundational philosophy that has kept the monarchy alive for centuries. William, fully aware of how fragile public support can be, understood that if the family itself begins to view selfless duty as an outdated relic, the entire institution loses its moral authority. Moreover, the incident highlighted the complicated status of those who exist on the periphery of the crown. Non-working royals like Laura enjoy the immense social and financial privileges of their royal association while remaining exempt from the strict code of public silence. William's frustration stemmed from this exact imbalance, believing that proximity to the throne requires a certain level of discretion, regardless of whether one wears a title. By refusing to let the comments slide, he established a clear boundary, signaling that those who benefit from the institution must respect its servants, especially those as indefatigable as the Princess Royal. Ultimately, the fracture created that evening remains a permanent feature of the royal landscape, an invisible fault line running beneath the grand ceremonies and polished photo opportunities. It serves as a powerful reminder that the most significant threats to the monarchy do not always come from external critics or media intrusion, but from the quiet, unspoken tensions that simmer behind palace doors. Though the cameras will continue to capture a picture-perfect family, those within the palace walls know that a single careless remark has left a mark that time may never fully erase.